It's visible.
Thank you for such a wonderful introduction, sir. So I'll be taking the surgical aspects of pterygium a step further. The surgery, perfect technique, PERFECT. Is it the perfect technique for primary and secondary pterygium? So this is what I am going to discuss over next 8 to 10 minutes. So as Parihar sir had brought out that pterygium is being operated for about more than 3,000 years. There are more than 50 type of surgical techniques for treatment of pterygium, and there are more than 1,500 peer review articles in international journals. But have we reached that level of perfection that recurrence rate is near zero? Not till now. But yes, one technique as described by in 2008 by Dr. Lawrence Hurst, which is known as perfect technique. It may have near zero recurrence, as I'll just go on and elaborate on the various aspects of this. Now, what is this perfect technique? Perfect stand for pterygium extended removal followed by extended conjunctival transplant. How it is done? Now, this is a animated video followed by a surgical video. So how it is done? First, the pterygium is transected at the limbus. Conjunctiva and tenons are dissected. The corneal part is removed. Then, this is the dissection of conjunctiva, and then followed by hooking the muscle like a medial rectus if a nasal pterygium is there. And then conjunctiva and tenon extensive dissection is carried out for conjunctiva and tenons. And once this is done, then this part is removed. Now dissection may be as much as 10 to 12 millimeter away from the limbus till that much time. And then a graft, conjunctival graft is harvested after measuring the size, and this graft is shifted over to this area, which is now free from conjunctiva and tenons. And then it is sutured or placed in position by either putting a fibrin glue or sutures. So this is the surgical video. Now, initially marking is done. Marking is done till the caruncle. So it will be, I request the AVs to please switch off that alarm. This is a new topic just started. So I request AVs to switch off that alarm, please. So this after the marking is done, then the pterygium is bisected at the limbus. So after this bisection, bisection of conjunctiva and tenons, then the corneal part of the pterygium is either stripped off or it is dissected finally, maybe using a crescent knife as a regular technique. And this part is removed. Now, once this part is removed, now the next part comes is a blend dissection of the conjunctiva and tenons. And once this dissection is being carried out, we go posteriorly till we reach the muscle. And hemostasis is achieved. And once you achieve the hemostasis, then you hook the muscle like this. And once you hook the muscle, it's that time when we go beyond that, muscle is hooked, and then further dissection of the pterygium is carried out. Now here, the important thing is removing the tenons and conjunctiva extensively for 10 to 12 millimeter beyond the limbus. The tenons around the muscle and over the muscle should be excised nicely. Why it is important to remove the tenon is because in recurrent pterygiums, what has been studied is that tenons also has a lot of fibroblast and angiogenesis factor, which causes recurrence of pterygium. So once this is done, then we measure the area, the size of the graft required. We also polish or we also smoothen the surface of the cornea from where pterygium is removed. The eye is pulled down downwards, and a conjunctiva is marked for the size of the graft that needs to be taken. So once this marking is done, then a conjunctival graft is harvested. It is important to remember at this point that there should be minimum or no damage to the tenons down below, and if possible as little hemorrhage should happen there, because otherwise it may lead to if there is a damage to the tenon, it may lead to problems subsequently. Now, once a graft is prepared, then you put a fibrin glue at the surface, and this graft is placed over the area where the tenon and conjunctiva has been removed. Now, once this is nicely in place all around, I do put a few sutures posteriorly whenever a perfect technique is being done, because here, if a graft displacement occur from around the muscle part, it becomes difficult, and again you have to take the patient to OT at that point of time. So it's better to put sutures posteriorly, at least if you're using a fibrin glue. Otherwise, you can put 5 sutures as was shown in the animation technique. So once this is done, this is the final appearance. The graft is in place. And the best part is when you remove the speculum, there is hardly cosmesis. It's wonderful cosmesis. You can't see the graft at all because it goes under the upper and lower lids and on the medially up to the caruncle. So now what are the various studies, literature studies available about this perfect technique? In 2008, it was first time described in 250 patients with the primary pterygia, and the patients were followed up for 1 year. There was 0 recurrence. In 2009, 111 patients with recurrent pterygia followed up for 1 year, 0 recurrence, excellent cosmesis. And then 2012, another study with 1,000 patients with primary and recurrent pterygia was published. They were followed up for 1 year. 1 patient out of 1,000 patients had a recurrence. Rest all no recurrence, but excellent cosmesis. In 2020, 1,000 patients again who underwent primary and recurrent pterygia surgery using the perfect technique. This is the longest study for the pterygium available with largest number of patients for more than 10 years, 0 recurrence and excellent cosmesis. So is perfect for primary pterygium? The aim of pterygium surgery is no recurrence and excellent cosmesis. So you can see 0 recurrence, and excellent cosmesis, and same results for the recurrent pterygium, 0 recurrence, excellent cosmesis. If you compare these results with the other techniques, the results with the perfect are much less in terms of recurrence rate. There are some problems also with this procedure. One, it's slightly longer than the standard procedure. You need a meticulous tissue handling in this. There may be a transient diplopia because you are handling the muscle. Post-operative pain is slightly more than a conjunctival autograft. But ultimately you are achieving no recurrence and better cosmesis. So this may be surgery which is going to be near perfect. Thank you.